Buttons and the sliders, Don Bassett. Good afternoon to gentlemen. How you guys doing today?
Wonderful, wonderful. How you doing?
I'm great, mate. Great. Good weekend?
Wonderful weekend.
Yeah?
Wonderful weekend.
Before we go into it, just let our guests know that we were supposed to have one guest come in today, but unfortunately they didn't make it. Another guest will be coming in at 12:35, which is netball. And then at 1:15 we have Ross Caesar and two representatives of his team will be coming in talking about the upcoming bodybuilding show, which is next week, Saturday at the City Bridge, International Bodybuilding.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we have Ross Caesar joining us just after 1:15. I'll tell you what I did yesterday. I haven't done it like since I was like probably 12 years old. I walked over Billy Good Heel yesterday. He knows something wrong with me. After walking, I was already walking like an hour and 50 minutes into the walk. And then
Done.
said, let's go Billy Good Heel.
Done.
You know I'm a Billy Good. I walked it.
He claims he walked over.
I
chased you over Billy Good Heel. That's a difference, you know. You know why he's telling us? You know why he's telling us? Because he thinks somebody may have seen it and would have told us. So his disclaimer is, I walked over Billy Good Heel. No, you didn't walk over. You was chased over Billy Good Heel.
I'm being honest.
Ain't too many people gonna walk over Billy Good Heel. Okay?
I walked over Billy Good Heel from the Old Road side down to the South Shore side.
Again, Mr. Rollins.
Huh?
Who was chasing you?
No one was chasing me. And I'll be honest, I was exercising, but I don't think I could even run that hill if I was running now. It's not running like when I run Langton Hill. That's a little different. Billy Good Hill was no joke, mate.
My car can't even make it.
I wouldn't even like take my car. I would be like scared to take it. Jesus, man, it's a steep hill.
It's a steep
I mean, honest, I walked. He still don't believe, but that's all right.
No, I'm. Eventually, you know, when we go to a commercial break, Don, we'll get it out of him.
Get it out of me.
We'll get it out of him. He'll have to admit that he was being chased over the hill.
That's my story. Yeah. I'm sticking to it.
I don't have a problem here sticking to that particular story, but you know, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there listening right now saying, "Earl, you're right. Stick to it. You'll be all right. You get it. You get it."
I'm being honest. I walked over Billy Good Heel.
Billy Good Heel and honest are never in the same sentence. Okay,
so what it's trying to say, Ian? What are you doing around that area?
Thank you.
That's what it's trying to say. For you to run over the hill, somebody had to be chasing you. That's what it's trying to say. They're trying to make it sound like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Trying to tiptoe around. Come on.
I said I had been walking for an hour and 15 minutes.
Right? And then that's the other joke. He's been walking for an hour and 15 minutes.
50.
Hour and 50 minutes.
50.
And then it's suggested we walk over this hill. All right, cool. Takes you an hour and a half to walk over that particular hill.
Okay, so I'll leave it like that since you don't believe me. But hopefully someone will call in and say yes, they saw me walking over Billy Good Heel yesterday. They're not running.
Well, you know what? Well, how long was your walk altogether?
2 hours and 2 minutes. It was 2 hours.
Remember, folks, he said an hour and 50 minutes. He was walking before he ran over Billy Good.
I walked over Billy Good Hill, came on the other side of South Shore, and headed west where I had to go after that. You know, come down on...
So it took you 10 minutes? You're saying it took you 10 minutes?
No.
You said 2 hours and 2 minutes. Right. So it's 1:50.
I started walking...
Another...
That's what, 1:50, saying another 12 minutes took me to get over Billy Good Hill. I get you. I know you get it. I know you do your math.
Yeah.
No. What did I just say to you?
It took you 2 hours. I asked you, how long was your walk?
2 hours and 2 minutes.
Right. So it took you 12 minutes to get over
Billy Good Hill. Listen to me, cousin. I walked over Billy Good Hill, got on the other side on the South Shore, took a right and head west.
Yes.
I didn't tell you how far I went. I just said I headed west to my destination.
Okay.
And it took me 12 minutes from the time I started. I said that.
Yeah.
From the time I started Billy Good Hill on the Old Road side at 1:50.
Okay.
Until where I finished, 2:02.
If anybody from Old Road is listening, can you call 292-9595 and explain to me how one, after walking an hour and 50 minutes, not 15, 50, can then walk over Billy Good Hill and only take him 12 minutes? Somebody please call me. Tell me.
I headed west.
Listen. It's going to take you 12 minutes to get halfway up Billy Good after walking an hour and 50 minutes.
No.
Okay, Mr. Rollins. You know what? We're gonna have to have.
It's pretty fake.
He knows that. He knows that. He knows that part.
Hey,
But he just don't believe
I
it.
don't care how fit you are, right? After walking for 1 hour and 50 minutes, then to turn around and walk up. He didn't say run, because he said he weren't being chased.
No.
To walk up.
Billy Good
Okay.
Hill. On the
All right.
old road side, which is sleeper.
Yeah. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, I get
That's the point I'm making. I'm
6 minutes up, 6 minutes down.
No. 6 minutes. I'm just 6 minutes, dog.
Yo,
taking off $2.
No.
And then he had to turn west to his destination.
Yeah.
He can do it.
And then he turned west to his. You know what, Mr. Rollins? We're gonna leave that conversation right there, right there, because it sounds like you should have been with Tyler Butterfield yesterday.
I should have. Okay.
Because Tyler Butterfield recorded the second fastest ever Ironman in Cozumel yesterday, and he done it in 7 hours and 44 minutes. So by the sounds of what you're explaining, you'd have probably done it in 7 hours and 30 minutes.
7 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because you were feeling that good yesterday.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. It was great.
Well, I know there's people out there saying, "Let me get to the phone. Let me just call and help to try to figure this out." Or any residents up at Ordred right now, you probably have an influx of people coming up there to try and determine whether or not it could take them 12 minutes to walk over that hill and turn west.
Take you less than 12 minutes.
Huh? After walking an hour and 50 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember now, his heart's pumping, his adrenaline's pumping, he's got that breathe in. He might be able to get up. Right? Am I right here?
Exactly right.
So
That's all right.
It's not impossible.
Brother Dunn, I noticed you go fishing a lot, Mr. Brother Dunn. And you do a lot of baiting in the fish. Eventually, by 2 o'clock, you be reeling this black Korean.
Well, in all honesty, he's seen me run through town, all out through St. John's Road. He said, "Oh, there now?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna run it."
It's fine. What's money called? 292, 95, 95.
Yeah.
See if it's possible to do that in 12 minutes.
After walking
1 hour.
Don't forget.
1 hour and 50 minutes.
Harold's like, is it possible? You can't do it. I don't know why it's not possible. He's like,
If he said, after about 45 minutes or 50 minutes, decided to go up Billy Goat Hill, and it took me 12 minutes, and I turned west to my destination. That would have been fine. Somebody's at Billy Goat Hill. Somebody's at Billy Goat Hill. Impossible.
I like that. Impossible.
After an hour and 50 minutes. Yep. Impossible.
Our fitness level might be not as good as Ian's. I mean, you know what I mean? It's possible, man. I don't think it's not possible to do that. I think we do. But you got to think that his pumped up. His blood's circulating, his heart's pumping.
Well, you got a 50-pound test?
And
you must have a 50-pound test.
I see the run. It's fit. It's fit.
I ain't gonna say anything, right?
You got a 50-pound test.
Next time I do it, right? Nah, I'm gonna call him. Now come on the side of Billy Goat. I give you a car or bike. You come over with me. Come down and take the picture. Do it all, man. Matter of fact, you extend the top of Billy Goat Hill, you see me walk up and go down. Whatever he wants, and it ain't gonna be no 12 minutes. I guarantee you that. I know that for a fact. Walking.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Rollins, you know what? I have to agree with you because I didn't see you, so I have to believe you.
So the person that called you and said impossible?
Yeah.
I'll come join you to take the video.
I'm pretty sure they won't be the only one thinking that. I'm pretty sure.
You know I like jokes. But I don't joke about fitness.
No,
I give you straight.
Yeah. I wouldn't even think you would be joking about fitness.
No, when I tell you my butt's been kicked that day, I say, "Oh, I got my butt kicked that day. I got to do this, do that." I tell you.
Well, Mr. Rollins, I'm glad you got in your exercise yesterday. and something you started saying never done before.
Never. I know I said.
Oh, you haven't done it in a long time.
So I think last time I did it in my teenage years.
The part of going over
Billy
Goat
Goat Hill, yeah.
Oh,
Because
okay.
my cousins used to go by Billy Goat Hill.
Oh, okay.
Visit, right?
Okay.
But they don't live there no more. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
That's cool.
Mr. Rollins?
It's not buying it. Earl's not buying
Listen, I wasn't there. I can't prove he didn't do it. I do have some more follow-up questions, but
innocent until proven guilty.
when the light goes dark, we'll ask the questions. Right now, the lights are lit up, they're bright. So
Yeah.
This is my mate. So we do have a guest out front, so we might as well bring him here.
Okay.
Why don't we do that?
But yeah. I'm pretty sure they will have the same idea as I. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see.
That's the question of the day, Don. Could he do it after an hour and 50 minutes?
50 minutes.
Not impossible. Not impossible.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Not impossible.
No, it's not impossible. I just.
If your cardio is good, if you got good cardio, you should be able to lean into the hill.
Let me ask you a question. What time of the day was this?
This was going on about. When I got to Billy Goat Hills. About 5 to 12. That's even worse.
Yeah, you got caught in that shower then.
No, at that time it wasn't raining. No. I left about 10 past 10. Yeah, so about 1:50. Yeah, about 10 to 12.
Okay. All right.
Let's take a commercial break. All right, and we bring the first guest in. And welcome back inside Sports Talk Radio. Before we go into our netball, just have a quick question for you, ma'am.
Sure.
Can you believe anyone can walk for an hour and 50 minutes and start walking at Billy Goat Hill on the Wardrobe side and get over to the south side of Wardrobe, head west in 12 minutes?
Depends how many times you cheated. You cheated, you was all in the tracks.
Don't worry about that. The fact is, the person walking.
See?
No, I said, no, that's got nothing to do with it. The fact is, the person
You
walking
asked
the
the
beach.
question.
I said, yeah, no. The question was a person walked for 1 hour and 50 minutes and then walk Billy Goat Hill in 1 hour and 50. After 1 hour and 50 minutes, get over the other side of Wardrobe, Billy Goat Hill on the south side, then head west. Take 12 minutes, head west to their destination. You think they can get it done?
Still walking in a straight line.
There you go. Thanks. That's what I need to say. Thanks. Anyway, let's move on to netball. Next, and walk on the beach.
Well,
And walk Southgate Hill.
Well, Mr.
Hill,
Rollins, let me
Federick.
just say, Mr. Rollins, you asked the question.
And I got
There
the
was
answer.
there was a lot of doubt, but then you asked the question in another way,
No, I did not.
and you got the answer you wanted.
No.
So Mr. Trump,
Let's play. Hey,
So, Mr. Trump.
Hey, this is not fake news.
Mr. Trump, you did not get the answer you wanted. So you asked it in another way.
You called me Trump. That's embarrassing. I don't know if you call me Nixon or Trump. Which one's worse, right? Nixon or Trump?
Full of yourself today.
Yes. Now, Ms. Evans, how was netball this weekend? I don't know how it was. It started off a glorious day, but in the end, another disappointing end.
Yes, the rain. I mean, we had a fantastic day of youth netball that took place. Our junior athletes are definitely showing their worth. And, unfortunately, we got down to the senior matches. We hoped and prayed that the rain would have held off because in looking at our, the weather, it said that at 6 p.m. it was guaranteed that it was going to rain.
Yeah.
And at 6 p.m.,
There it
it's
happened.
poured. The heavens opened up.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate because the match that was going on was a very it was between Storm and Linda's Tigers, and it was an extremely competitive match, right? And unfortunately, the rules state that once you go into that third quarter, the score is considered,
Final.
Yeah. So Linda's Tigers edged out Storm, but it was a great match. It was a really competitive match.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I was there early. I missed the Pee-wees. I got to get to the Pee-wees because I saw your little video. But to see the fundamental skills of the under 11s, picking up the game, positioning wise and everything. I know some of the coaches are more excited with the fact that players are understanding the game more and more as opposed to whatever the score could be at that age. And I think the participation level, no matter what the score is, they keep coming back. You know? So
they definitely do.
It's got to bode well for the sport itself because it's building and it's actually evolving around harmony at the Bernard Park. So congratulations to you guys on what you're doing. And it's a collective thing. You always say your council and the members and the clubs and everybody pulling together. What's next?
Well, I mean, for us, like you said, the league used to be on the 12. It's now on the 11.
Right.
So you have some players that are on these teams that are 7 and 8. They are absolutely cute.
Right.
They are the cutest things ever. And to be understanding the rules and implementing the rules and trying their best, it's fantastic.
Right.
I mean, Angela Edwards, her little team,
Warriors,
so cute. I mean, the thing about it is
if they score, it's almost like they won.
They do win. If they score, they win.
Yeah. They
it's
celebrate like they don't. What the other team score? I don't. We remember that we scored, but that's the attitude. It's like we do something good, we do something positive.
Yes.
We celebrate what we're doing because we're learning.
The amazing part about it is that it's not just their team that celebrates.
Yeah,
everyone down there.
So everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I mean, you could get a measuring tape out for some of her kids that are
so tiny.
Yeah. the girl keeper trying to defend this child who she's coming to her shoulder is the most comical thing ever because the child's trying to jump
Yeah.
and still can't get across the elbows. But
Yeah.
but she
Yeah.
won't give up. She
Yeah.
will not give up.
And I think her little Santa was probably just barely hitting 4 feet. She
Yeah.
was so cute.
So what size are
She
the
was
girl?
so cute.
So they're lowered.
Okay.
What are the for the under 11s? What's the height for the?
They are at 8 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
still kind of tall, or say high, I should say. Not tall.
Well, I mean, if the average kid is at 5 foot and then you raise your arms, you're almost 6 feet there, so it's only a
Exactly.
2 foot push.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Although we might say 8 feet, it doesn't look 8 feet when
No.
they're playing, unless the child is 4 foot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Does it look that
Yeah.
big? But for the most part, the 11s are pretty tall,
Yes.
especially girl shooters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No problem. I mean, for us, it's just to keep pushing on from here and trying to get the community behind this as well as our members. They're starting to buy into what is happening because they're seeing it work.
Mhm.
I know with anything that takes place, there's a little bit of resistance because change is always hard.
Oh yeah.
It's hard for everyone. But as a collective, if we want to continuously promote our sport and to take it to the next level, some of these changes are mandatory. And it's not something that's an easy pill to swallow, especially when you've been doing things a certain way for a very long time. But we hope that the coaches and the clubs and our affiliates continue to support us and continuously send us feedback, and we can take it back and we can look at it again once we come to an end of this season and look at the things that we've done well and look at the things that we may end up building on, and we'll just continuously go from there. But I think that a lot of the ways that we've done things so outdated that it was mandatory for us to implement multiple areas, like the membership requested they wanted these age groups to be changed, so we changed the age
Right.
groups. We are allowing for the players to play unlimited amount of matches up. We're also it's created more teams actually
Right.
with this age group split because we have the under 11s, we have the under 14s, we have the under 17s, and we have the seniors.
Right.
So the only unfortunate part I would say is that as far as scheduling is concerned, because we do understand that people have other events and things that they do
Right,
throughout the
right.
day. So we've always started our day at 1 p.m.
Yes.
and adding an additional division in that league meant that we have to play 14s on one court and 17s on another at the same time.
Right.
So it's it's sometimes it can be a little bit iffy, particularly because one of the major rules that was implemented this year was to allow players to play an unlimited amount of matches up
Right.
in age group.
Right.
So it can impact some teams sometimes, especially if their 14s and their 17s are playing at the same time.
Yeah.
We've done our best to try to have the schedule, shifting the times, that especially clubs that have multiple teams across the age groups. But obviously, it's not going to always work in
Right,
everyone's
right,
favor.
right.
So it's a bit of a challenge. But we just continue to push on, and hopefully, the bit of resistance that we may see now may come in the end. Might say, okay, well, I was kind of iffy
Right.
about this, but
Right.
now I can definitely see where you guys are heading or where the vision is heading.
Right. I know Saturdays could be a very long day for you
It sure
guys.
is.
Years ago, and I'm talking years ago, and probably before you even started, Sundays was the big day in netball because
Yes.
that was the A division,
Yes.
the top players. Any thought of taking the seniors and moving them to Sunday morning as opposed to?
It's always talk about Sundays, and I know it's talk even in other sports, but I can tell you, it's almost like Sunday is a day that everyone tries to stay away from. They're like, oh my God, not Sundays, because it's just, I think most people that are doing things, it's the rest day.
Right.
It's the rest
Well,
day.
I only suggest it because it actually breaks up the Saturday.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
It does. However, one of the things that needs to happen for sure within our clubs, and I know I constantly come on here, I constantly speak about us getting volunteers and people
Mhm.
stepping up and doing things. So I know clubs are having a major challenge as far as basically having more hands on deck to
Mhm.
assist. So there are many people wearing multiple hats,
Yes.
playing multiple roles, and I know that can be challenging. But I basically would implore those clubs to reach out to their senior players,
Right.
get them involved.
Right.
I don't think that people realize the rewards of being involved until you actually put them in a situation to do it.
Another option out there is obviously you have children as well. They would have to do community hours.
Yes.
So it's reaching out to those type of people that need those community hours
Yes.
and do it through the association
Yes.
that signs off and verifies that this
Yes.
person has done that. So it's opportunities out there to get involved in many ways. You don't have to be a player. You could
Yes.
just help out in scheduling games. You could help out in refereeing games. You could help out in
Exactly.
helping with substitutions. It's so many things that
Yes.
one can help out with without actually having to play the sport itself.
And once again, that's something else that the BNA has done. We have had volunteers from schools, from the middle schools and the senior schools
Mhm.
across the island that have been like runners,
Mhm.
which are needed for the senior matches to basically help to run the information for the substitutions and things like that
Mhm.
over. We've also had persons that operate our scoreboard because we now have a digital scoreboard that we're utilizing for the senior league down there. Just so players can take a quick look over, they can keep an eye on the scoring. They've also assisted us on our opening day and on our tournament day. So we have definitely put that out there. We encourage any parent of children that may need community service hours and things like that to get a hold of us. bdanetball@hotmail.com, because we're always looking for persons to volunteer some time to assist us with different events. So, we are definitely pushing. We're pushing the envelope as much as we can push it. And we hope that everyone basically continues to support us. We're grateful for those that do support us, and we always welcome anyone additional to come on board.
I know you guys were really pumped about the start of the season where you had the NA Cup.
It was, Earl, it was amazing.
Yes. Any thoughts of having a mid-season NA Cup?
Well, we do have tournaments
Yeah,
that
you
happen
do, right.
throughout the season
Right.
anyway that honors other Bermudians.
Yes.
Obviously, with our juniors, we had the Harold Duckdale tournament, which was great. We have the Merrill Parfit Hustle tournament that's coming up, that all divisions will play. Those of you that may not know, and I'm sure those of you that don't know, it's kind of unusual, but Merrill Parfit has been an advocate for netball before I even became involved, and is still involved, basically down there assisting with our PBs. She's one of the ones that is giving back and continuously supporting that event every week. I just want to let you know we do have a few more spaces open in the PBs. Our cap is at 40, and we have about 35 little PBs down there on a Saturday morning from 11 to 12 o'clock. But yeah, we just want to keep pushing. The next thing that's definitely on our agenda, and we've been reaching out to some of the senior players, is the walking netball.
Oh, yes.
We're trying to create a recreational day, just to get it out there and say, you just come by and you don't have to be a part of a team, but you just come and you play. So we've put that out there. That's on our social media platforms, and we hope that, persons can reach out and become a part of our walking netball community.
You know, the minute the first beat of sweat comes, the adrenaline kicks in and it becomes competitive. It ain't no walking no more.
They are going to want to run, but they're going to be penalized. I'm sorry, that's in the rules. You cannot run. It's walking. You have to walk.
But like anybody, you got that competitive nature in you. You're gonna want to get that slight edge.
Absolutely right there.
But around the world, netball is evolving with so many different new forms of it, and would you see how basketball is going to 3-on-3?
Yes.
How do I put it? Any suggestion, or do you see anything on the horizon netball going to like a half court 3-on-3?
Yes, we definitely talked about those things. We have the Fast Five, which is obviously to less than what is
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
on the court.
But they're playing the
And
whole court for
yeah,
that. Yeah.
they're playing the entire
Mhm.
court. And then there are tournaments around the world, whereas there are half court.
Mhm.
And the other thing that we've been really trying to do, but obviously we can't do everything all at once.
Yes, yes.
It's exciting for us to do new things,
Mhm.
and we don't want to overwhelm our
Yes,
members
yes.
with the amount of things that we're doing. But next up on the horizon is our walking netball, and we also have beach netball.
Oh, so a lot of people have moved to the beach.
Yeah.
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 And actually, it becomes more competitive because people take more risks.
Yeah.
In allowing their body to be exposed to so many different other things.
Yeah.
Like when you're playing down at Bernard Park, obviously you don't want to fall down.
No.
But the minute you go to the beach, you don't mind hitting the sand because it's soft. It's gonna and it's gonna allow you to do your mind will say, okay, I can get that ball. I ain't gotta worry about word rash. I ain't gotta worry about those type of things. So that could be exciting.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
A little tough, a little fitter.
maybe 2020, summertime, we'll be looking. We just want to try and get this winter season completely underway, obviously, with the late start due to the weather and the hurricanes and things like that. So, we just want to get this underway. Then we have a little bit of time to catch ourselves and maybe put some things out. Maybe we'll just put on the agenda the beach netball towards the end of the summer league and see if that's something that, our summer league might want to do, something like that. So, we're constantly trying to come up with innovative new ideas to keep netball current and to continuously grow our sport.
Yeah.
Take a commercial break.
Sure. We'll take a commercial break and we'll be back with more Inside Sports Talk Radio after these messages from our sponsors.
Inside Sports Talk.
Inside Sports Talk Radio
on Power 95 FM.
with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baisden.
I say it all the time, Earl. Every time this president comes on, right, she's always looking to raise the bar with her program, right? See how she's doing it again? Now you see why I always ask her where she gets the energy, right? And then the things that she outlined just before the commercial break, what she's looking for 2020.
Right.
I don't know how she does it. She's got a good management team. She's got a good organization that's going. So Netball has made a lot of strides under your watch. You think I'm joking? I say it to you all the time. But every time you're bringing something new to the table, I'm like, what? Huh? It amazes me.
I continuously have to say, if it wasn't for the working council that we have, a lot of things wouldn't even be able to take place.
Yeah.
You know, I come here, obviously I want to promote the sport, but it's a collective. So if this is the small part that I can play and come out here and vocally come on and try and encourage Bermuda to get behind Bermuda Netball Association, then that's the part that I think. But, you know, there are several other people behind the scenes, and obviously not looking for any form of accolades, because, you know, I constantly tell them, come on the radio, come and let's make
Stacy,
sure
I
that-
spoke to Stacy today. She said she will come next time.
That's right. I'm
Stacey
going to
Grant.
hold her to it.
She said, look, Ian, I'm not training with you. You're not going to kill me, but I'll come on the radio to talk about my netball.
I think Stacey's going to give you some licks
I'm just
by
getting.
saying that.
We had the conversation this morning.
Stacy is amazing.
She's
You
amazing.
think I'm got energy? Stacy is the flagship of MVCC Club.
Enterprise.
I mean,
That's
she
right.
is
Up and
amazing
down.
for North Village
Yeah.
Community
Yeah.
Club.
She's got all that energy.
She does. I mean, she goes from managing to umpiring to coaching to probably ordering the uniform. She does just about everything. I'm pretty sure.
She's fit, man. She's got it going on. That's what I'm talking about. Now she
Yeah.
says she'll help you in interview. She'll join you, give you the information to pass the word out about netball. She
Listen
told me
to
that
me.
this morning.
All
I'm
right,
telling you. I'm
Stacey.
telling you.
If she told you that this morning,
Yep.
Ian, that's the second thing I've heard you say today
Uh-huh.
that I'm doubting.
No need
You know
to doubt.
why?
Why? No
Because-
need to doubt.
We both know Stacy,
Yes.
Yeah.
and those words coming out of her lips.
Nah.
I'm Ian,
Stacey Grant.
But I can tell you, she's definitely one of those ones. She's like, I'm got your back.
Yeah.
Got your back.
Yes.
Got your
Yes.
back.
Just don't ask me to
Yeah.
be in front of the camera. Just don't ask me.
No, this was radio. She's been on radio before. She said, not a problem.
Okay. Yes.
There you go. There you go.
I'm going on the parking lot at the break of for news to just try to figure out. Let me start this day again. Come back in here because I said two things this evening that I'm struggling with.
No need to struggle, bro.
Yeah.
I never led you down the straight.
You don't know.
Down the middle. The middle. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Anyway.
mean, one of the major things that has happened over the past couple of weeks is that we continuously receive accolades from AFNA, which is the Americas Federation of Netball. They're constantly speaking on the progress that the leaders doing, particularly when it comes to the development of both players, athletes. The next step is to bring some people down to offer some coaching courses. And INF, the International Netball Federation, highlighted Bermuda in their newsletter for our PV netball and, you know, our vision to basically get those players from young and start to develop them. So it was great. It was exciting news for us to see that they highlighted us. And I believe that came from our AFNA, because we send our information through to them, and I believe they filtered it right up to the top.
Right.
And it was great for us. It was so exciting for
Right.
us, you know, to see Bermuda highlighted in that way.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So what's on tap for you? Any games this coming weekend?
Yes, we have our regular league matches taking place this weekend. Let's just keep doing a dance to pray the rain away, in hopes of completing a
Full day.
as we have not been able to do so. We've had to host our tournaments indoors, and we've had to cut our days short. But what happens is with our rain dates, basically they're built into our scheduling. And if a match doesn't get played on that day, this is more specifically with seniors, they will play the second Monday. So if a match gets rained out on a Saturday, they won't play the next Monday. They play the following Monday,
What time is
which
it?
allows the exact same time on the exact same court that is listed in our schedules. So teams know in advance that you have just over a week to make sure that you have your teams available for that Monday. In order for them to play it, I know that they're in the process of trying to confirm and work out a specific day, which will take place through the week
Right.
for our junior matches
Yeah.
as well. As all clubs train throughout
Out
the
the
week,
week, yeah.
so whatever day they decide, the clubs have to adhere to what the BNA puts out there. And if it's a makeup game that has to take place, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to train because we only have that one space.
I do have to commend, because Nepal could take a little bit of credit for this as well, as one of your coaches had to leave his match and then go and officiate a boxing title match.
Yeah,
On
I think he prayed
Saturday.
for the rain though.
No, actually, I tell you what, no, he didn't. You know, he did. You know why? Because we were at PHC for the first half,
Okay.
and we were talking about the night. We were talking about the
Yes.
fact that he was going to referee. I mean, be the coach of his team
Yes.
for netball, and
Yes.
then have to
Leave
officiate
to go
this
officiate the
fight.
With boxing.
And he says, I want to do the game because that kind of takes time away from me to make sure that I ain't sitting around doing anything, and
Right.
you know what I mean. So
Right.
cutting the game short kind of made his night even longer because what do? You missed another 45 minutes of distraction
Yeah.
because no matter what you do, when you got something else to do. You can't really focus on it, and some people don't want to focus on it until they have to focus on it. So, having somebody like that in under a netball atmosphere, and it only makes sport even that much more exciting because the next time I get to chat with him, I'm gonna say, well, how was your night?
Exactly.
Because netball's included in that historic night for him.
True.
So.
True. I mean, you know how the saying goes: if you want something done, get the person that's busy to do it.
Yeah.
Because busy people still get things done.
That's right.
And
You're the
he
caller on
is
that.
basically, I mean, he's been one of the males that have been around the sport for a very long time now. I was just speaking to him prior, and that will be Tony Machette. Let me shout him out.
Yeah.
I'm speaking to him prior to coming here because, we are in the process of starting our national program back up. And so, he's like, country takes precedence over anything.
Yes.
And he's excited about, where NAPO is heading and where we are looking to go on the international stage and also on the local scene. And he continuously supports us. I mean, he supports other sports as well.
Yes, it does.
But he has been steadfast in trying to assist wherever he can when it comes to NAPO. So,
Yeah.
shout out to him.
Yeah. Good referee in the other night too, Tony.
There you go. The man of all trades.
Yes, he sure is.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
We let you host the show one day.
Really?
We wrap up. Yeah, why don't you do that? We can work out something next week, Monday for you. Want to do that?
Next week Monday, you had me here today. You want me to come back next Monday?
And host the show.
And host.
You host it. Yeah.
Okay.
Host a bit.
You there?
Yeah.
We could do that.
We could do that.
Hey, you should multi-sports.
That's what
I
I'm
am
talking
definitely
about. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm an advocate for all sports.
There you go.
I love my country. I love my island country. I love all sports and athletes that decide to put their head in the ring to represent our country. And I think that, sports is where it's at as far as Bermuda is concerned, and we just need our country to get behind us.
There you go.
For all sports.
There you go. Something. I don't. That's it now. So we go break away for news.
That's why nobody believes in walking up the hill in 12 minutes. But anyway, time to go to news.
Time to go to news. We'll be back after news, guys. And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Joining us in the studio right now, we have four lovely people. First, Mr. Ross Caesar, the event organizer, Dion Smith, event organizer, Danielle, fitness coordinator, and Kyle Santucci, participant as the IFBB Caribbean Grand Prix Pro Qualifying gets underway in Bermuda for the first time on December 7th at the Seabridge Academy. Good afternoon to you all.
Good afternoon.
And the choir said. And the choir said.
And I start with you, Ross. Ross, this is your sport. This is something that you've been dealing with for years, decades, and you put something into it, you're giving something back to the community. How did you guys come up with this event, this international event being held here in Bermuda?
Well, it just happened to be us being in the right place at the right time. Um, we were away competing in NPC national show, and we were approached by the promoter as to having a show of this magnitude, a pro qualifier in the island of Bermuda. I discussed it with Dion, right?
Mhm.
And everything just kind of went from there, planning, organizing, sponsorship, and so on.
Dion, what's this mean for the sport for Bermuda? Because as you know, we have a sport here that's held twice, maybe once or twice a year. But you're bringing an international event to Bermuda. How has the curtain been raised for an event of this magnitude?
I think the curtain's raised to the highest. The curtain's been raised to the highest degree, the highest level. Um, we in Bermuda we have a regular bodybuilding show, but we don't have an international bodybuilding show. So what this means is that Bermudians now have the ability, the accessibility, to achieve a pro card.
Mhm.
And with that said, is that Bermudians are going to be competing against international competitors as well, but in their own country, which is a good thing because most of the time Bermudians have to travel outside Bermuda to do one of these events.
Mhm.
So I think the important thing is actually having it here. This is also a great deal with sports tourism at the same time.
Perfect.
It's a good opportunity for Bermuda. We've decided to have the event in December opposed to summertime, so we don't compete with the traditional Bermuda events that they have and stuff like that. So it's not going to be track we're going to add. And the good thing about the opportunity is that it's rainproof, so it's inside. So we're going to have lots of people coming to Bermuda to visit, to take part in these opportunities. So that's what's good.
Putting together something like this, because obviously, Ross, you said you was in the right place at the right time to be approached. But putting together this event as people that are involved in the sport, it kind of puts you in a new ambiance of trying to figure out how to actually get this done, does it?
Most definitely. It's a lot of planning, a lot more than we anticipated, right? It started early, and it's a process in terms of getting the right location, getting the right hotel rates to attract people, looking at airfares, the dates, the timing of the year to make it the most effective. So there's a lot of planning, it took a lot of hours, but it's now all come together very effectively.
Kyle, I'll speak with you. You're participating for this event on the 7th. You've been in bodybuilding for a number of years. What does this mean from the local chapter for Bermuda, from your perspective?
Well, it's definitely what can I say? It's an opportunity. It's also a chance for beginners, amateurs to get a front row seat of what international bodybuilding is like, what they have to go through, what they have to stand up against and compete against, and see what it takes to become a pro athlete.
Right.
Like I said, I've been in it for a while, been away to compete, to get that experience, and last year I actually competed in this competition.
Right.
And it was amazing in Bahamas, and to find out that it's here again, like I'm even more excited that I get to compete in again, and this is, I think it's a great opportunity for beginners to to see what it takes.
Right. Now, this being your first time last year being in the Bahamas, and now you got 1 year under your belt, it's going to be home. How was your approach for the last 12 months as you prepared for this event?
It's been rocky because I've been sick on and off, so season changes,
Yeah.
and but it's a lot easier for me to prep for it,
Right.
because I don't have to pressure myself to make sure that I have to get all my financial stuff ready, make sure that got my meals all set ready, like planning everything step by step to make sure so I can go away and do it. But
Right.
I can actually do it more comfortably when I'm at home.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier for me to prep for it.
Right, right. Danielle, as the coordinator, explain to us your role in this event. That's not an easy task if you're going to take on international plus the local chapters and then the event itself on that night. What are the numbers like from the international side as the numbers coming to Bermuda?
Hi, good afternoon, Ian. Firstly, my role as the fitness coordinator is specifically as it relates to the Fitness Expo and the vendors, the local vendors that will be participating. So basically what we've done is we wanted to make this event inclusive for all people, not just the diehard participants and bodybuilders, but basically for the general public. So we are on a mission as a whole, as a group, to promote fitness, wealth, and wellness. And we just want to invite the general public to come out to our event because they will get to see firsthand a medical village, where this medical village, so for example, one of the vendors will be the Department of Health, and they will do different testing and disseminate different information around diabetes, just to educate the population. We also have Tom Watson's farm that will be there. He will be selling his fresh produce as well as sharing his basket shares with the general public. We also have a host of gyms that will be on display. They will be showcasing their products and services to hopefully sign people up for the new year. We have an extensive list of individuals that are participating in this event. So that has basically been my role in coordinating the Fitness Expo side of it.
And that's going to take place when? The expo itself?
The expo is also on Saturday. It starts at 9 a.m. and it will run until about 5 p.m. We also have a food court. So we do invite the Bermuda community to come on out for the day. It will be lots of different activities happening from 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. It's definitely something for everybody. And also, like I said, it's lots of giveaways, lots of discounts for memberships. And I also think it's a great opportunity to purchase Christmas gifts of health to give to your loved ones, to encourage our community to get active, to get fit.
Now, this event is going to be held at Cedar Bridge. Anyone can answer this. Why at Cedar Bridge and not at Elmer Princess or Southampton? This being the first time, this is the first time you experience it?
Well, when we looked at it, we wouldn't mind having it in a hotel, but strategically, Cedar Bridge has a very good stage that was built for this type of opportunity.
Yeah.
So we want to take advantage of what we already have and don't want to reinvent the wheel. And then with that, it's being complemented with the expo site, having the room, the space, the hallways and stuff like that. We can do many different things, and in a hotel, when you think about the tanning process that we need for the participants and stuff like that, that becomes a challenge in a hotel. You have to put the plastic up and stuff. So for us, what we're trying to do is have an event that is economical, attractive, and can deliver everything above and beyond for our local community, and also international participants and persons that come in and want to watch the show and the pre-judging as well.
Okay. Regarding international Ross, you can probably answer this then. What's the numbers looking like from overseas? And then a local chapter, what's the numbers looking like that for Bermuda?
Hopefully, we are looking to attract at least 100 international athletes.
Wow.
And to my knowledge, by far, right now, the numbers locally are we probably have the highest amount of local competitors that have ever competed locally in Bermuda.
And that number is ballpark figure?
It's roughly around 60.
60. So they're going to have about 160.
Yeah, so that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
So
that's a good sign.
How does the day play out then? If so many competitors, so many different divisions, how does it play out throughout the day to get to final showings for each division?
Well, with a show of this caliber, pro qualifying, knowing the judges who are coming as well, I've stood before them before in my pro qualifiers, and they can judge speed. They know exactly what they're looking for, and they're looking for top 6, top 5 as soon as you walk out. So they can judge a show, they can run a show effectively and speedy, and very smoothly as well.
Yeah, and should also be known that this is a team effort. So it's not just us doing it. We actually have our promoter that we are bringing in some of the expertise, expediters and stuff like that work behind the scene, and they're used to doing volumes of people, anywhere up from 200 to 900 people for one show for like 2 or 3 days. So we have an advantage because we already have a team that does this already, and it's important because of the quality, and it is a IFBB. So when you have that type of event, you have to adhere to all of their rules and regulations, and that's what we're trying to stick by so that we can make sure that we have pure quality.
So on the 7th, what are the start times and what is the anticipated ending time?
So the start time for the expo is 9 a.m. We will kick off our grand opening with our health minister, the Honorable Kim Wilson. She will do the grand opening for the expo. The actual pre-judging show will start at 10 a.m. That will run to about 4 or 5 possibly, and then we will have the main event at 5 p.m. and that will go to the evening, late night actually. Yeah, so we have a full day of events. A
long day for the competitors.
Yeah. And we have lots of food there, so for those that want to come in the morning and enjoy the entire day, you have food, you have access to everything you need.
When you say you went to Bahamas last year, are you staying in the same category?
Yes. Goes over into another category as well as the one that I know, which is classic physique.
Right.
But it all depends on what the body looks like as you get closer to the date. Sometimes it may like, okay, cool, you look ready to do that category, okay, you can do it, but then being get closer, like, you know what, you just stick to this because you look a lot better in this category. So this year I will sticking to classic physique, which is my strong suit.
Right. Got to ask this question. You guys have been to, you've been to one, Ross, you've been to several. When you go to competition and you look at other competitors in your division or even up from division and you see certain things that you can work on yourself, do you stand and start thinking, what do I have to do to get to look like that? Or do you just focus on what you have to do and try to get your business at hand done?
Well, I always focus on myself, trying to bring the best that I can bring. But at the same time, after any competition, I will assess and see where I have to improve in terms of where he plays. And then I will look at the guys ahead of me and see. Then I will say, you know what, I need to improve on my hamstrings. I need to add more detail here because that's the only way you can improve if you put yourself in a position to stand against a higher level of competition.
Well, the other thing I know is one thing about the sport, it's unique in every judge has their own eye, what they're looking for. There's you could actually win a competition today with a handful of judges, and then tomorrow be looked at totally different by another set of judges. So is it trying to convince those people that are sitting there that what they're looking at is the best?
Well, you're totally right. It is a subjective sport. So some of the categories, because the bodybuilding, as you know it from years ago to now, is so different. There's so many different categories.
Yes. Yeah.
So for bodybuilding, the judges are looking for certain things: muscularity, size, conditioning. But for a bikini, if you're not confident or a men's physique competitor, you could look amazing, but if you don't present yourself properly and you're not confident on stage, you can lose the show just based on that.
Right. Because it's a whole presentation. It's not just what you look like.
Yeah. So
Oh,
you can
okay.
you can win today and lose tomorrow.
Right. Right.
Kyle, what's it been like with the other local chapter members here in Bermuda as you guys prepare for December 7th? Have you had a chance to talk to?
Yeah, I've spoken to a few, um, some a lot, actually many, some a lot are very nervous,
Mm,
um, because it is such a big event,
mm,
and and they start to um, wonder if they're ready, or think I might not be ready, or I don't know, and they start to second guess themselves. But for people like veterans like Ross, people that have been doing it for a while like myself, I like to encourage them to keep on living,
right.
to never second guess yourself. Because the was there, the was ready. I could see the was ready. But it's a mental thing. And that's one of the things that kind of defeats the competitors,
Right.
especially the new local ones. It starts to get in their head because once they start, they got a glimpse of what they have to go up against. It's like, man, can I actually beat that, or do I look like I compete against that person?
Mm.
And I tell them like, yes, you can. Yeah, you're pretty much there. You can do it. Like it's not a hard.
Just put in the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Also, Dion, you guys can answer this. Drug testing. Is this going to be drug testing like every other event that's held in bodybuilding?
No, I don't think so. The IFBB Pro League, this particular event, they wouldn't.
So, okay, no drug testing. Fair
Mm.
enough. With that said, the 60 that are representing Bermuda, Ross, you train a lot of people. Um, what's it been like for you to see the numbers rise in that respect?
Well, it's good to see a lot of new competitors. People are coming in the sport for the first time locally. That are most of them are novice. Some of them are masters. We have at least 4 guys over 60 that are just competing in the masters category, because for a challenge basically.
Right,
And
right.
so it's good to have a wide variety of people. So not everybody's in the particular event competing to attain a pro card.
Right.
Right. Because they have so many different categories. Have masters over 50, over 40, women's masters. They have novice category, first time novice for people who've never even competed before.
Right. Wow.
Dion, you said something earlier about sports tourism, and I know over the last few years, I know that tourism gets involved in something they want multiple years of an event that's going to take place in Bermuda. Can we see this being a multi-year event?
Uh, we would love to have it as a multi-year event, annual event. I think this is one of the real reasons why we're trying to make sure that our team, who we partner with, um, the statisticians, the different other event key players that we have to bring in, the judges and stuff, because they are not Bermudian, but they are IFBB certified. So with that, we have to make sure that, we all have the right people on board, because we want to have an event that, for all intents and purposes of this type of event, it has to be what it is, which is, 100% top-notch quality, not just internationally, but also here in Bermuda. With that said, for our Bermudians and for Bermuda, we would love to see if we can make it annually. And then slowly, depending on some of the roles that we have, DJs or different things, if someone is really good to take that position, then we can utilize them and put them in there. But a lot of the things, because it's only one day, it's all strategic and specific. And we want to make sure we maintain that high quality of standard. And as you know, this is what Bermuda is about anyway.
Right.
So it's really about having that quality so that we can maintain and as far as the sport tourism side of it, is that we definitely want people to come and visit Bermuda. We want people to enjoy these types of events and stuff like that. And so we want to keep it at that high level.
I lost my train of thought. What I was going to say. Oh, back to Danielle. You mentioned that this is an opportunity for the local chapters regarding gyms to come and see people sign up because, as you know, December's a year where people who don't train regularly say, you know, I want to make a new commitment for the new year, and gyms make their money in the first quarter of a new year. So this is a great opportunity. Have you reached out to majority gyms in the area?
Yes, we have reached out to the majority of the gyms, and we have gotten a great response from many of the gyms. May I just read off a few of the names?
Sure.
So we will have on hand Aries Jam. They're going to promote their kids program. We have Beast Jam. They're going to do a strongman display. We have Stricker Adams. His Stricker spin class. He will actually set up some spin bikes and allow people to actually participate and get a feel for what it's like to be a part of his classes. We have Magnum Gym, Evolution, Beyond Fitness. We have the Bermuda bookstore as well. They'll be on hand to provide literature to support people to take home because it's one thing to go to the gym, but sometimes you need some information, some knowledge to carry you forward. You know, we also have Fueled. They'll be on hand as far as nutrition to speak to the diet because again, you can be in the gym all you want, but if you don't eat correctly, what good is it?
That's true.
So we have an extensive list. Let me not forget, we also have a Bermudian group of young ladies, Tramique Sports. They will be on hand with their sportswear. And Better Health. We have lots of vendors.
Okay.
Something for everyone.
Cool. Any final comments you guys like to add? 'Cause I got another guest coming in, but I'd like to have more information before we wrap up.
Yeah. Well, I just really like to invite and ensure that Bermuda comes out on December the 7th.
I do.
Go ahead.
Sales tickets. I'm understanding that things have been sold out. I just needed proof on that.
And when they say sold out, the sold, but we actually have put aside, what can I say, some restrictive tickets, and we will release them shortly. But we want to kind of just make sure that we have our ducks in a row, and we'll be releasing. So I would still encourage everyone to go online to PTix. If you have an issue trying to get a ticket, PTix is always sure to contact us and let us know if it's if we have an issue, and then we can release, and then we can ensure that people would be able to have their
so realistically, tickets are still available.
There are some, yes.
Okay.
So there's a percentage, say 80 to 85% sold thus far.
I would bet, yes.
Okay.
But we also have tickets in the prejudging section as well. And so I think what we're going to be looking at doing is giving some giveaways for seating for the prejudging, which is from 9 to 4:30, 5 o'clock on the same day. So people can get a chance if they are unable to get a seat, they can still be able to get some viewing during the prejudging stage.
Okay. Again, this City Bridge Academy gets underway 9 a.m. on that Saturday. So it's a full day of activity from 9 a.m. to probably like 9 or 10 at night.
Yeah.
That's a long day.
Maybe
You ain't working the next day, are you serious? Nope.
Not enough working that one day, man.
That's a long day. Well, I wish you all the best. And Kyle, keep up the good work, mate. All right? Cool. It's good having you guys on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome back again. We'll take a commercial break. We'll be back after this. And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Joining us in the studio right now is Mr. Calvin Blankendale with the Cricket Board. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Runners and Mr. Days and
Mr. Don Bassett.
Mr. Don Bassett.
So,
How you doing there? Man of many hats.
Welcome back. Yeah, many hats. How's it going in the cricket world?
That's fantastic. I mean, opportunities are there. Team has left the island as of today. Group 2, Group 1 left as of yesterday. Heading to Oman in the Emirate State, and looking to play 5 matches to represent the Bermuda Cricket Board and Bermuda in total against opposition to qualify for the 2023 Cricket World Cup. It's an uphill battle. We are associate members, so we have to do our qualifications around earlier, and we have to go through 3 years of qualifying stages. Same 5 teams that we'll be competing against, so 15 matches in 3 years, but again, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
So it allows us to not only try to qualify for the World Cup, which is the elite level of the sport, but also gives an opportunity to see where we are. Getting back into ODI or one-day international 50 overs in a very competitive format. Multiple players will be seen. The coaching staff can see what they're doing right and wrong. The players know they have a schedule and a dream to live to. And the cricket board can actually assess and analyze where we are. So at the end of the day, over 3 years, it's a win-win situation. No matter where we end up, we can say we need to improve. We've done poor, we've done great. And we can just see where we are instead of playing 1 or 2 matches, and they're not really for something competitive.
You mentioned it's a 3-year process, and you mentioned playing these teams over. Explain that a little more, because I think a lot of people don't understand the premise of this particular tournament and how it works. So we're playing these 5 games beginning next week, Monday.
Yes.
Actually, we start on Tuesday.
Yes, so the team has departed, so our itinerary will be arriving tomorrow, 26th, of course, a day of rest or leisure to recover, directly into training from the 28th of November to the 30th, being about 2 or 3 hours a day, getting acclimatized. December the 2nd, then we have the captains' meetings and managers' meetings, so that will be Mr. Taryn Frey and Mr. Irving Renee. Irving is a former captain and has been to the highest level, so great, fantastic young gentleman to lead us. After that, it's going to be practice as well on the 2nd, and then on December 3rd, the first match against Hong Kong. Rest day on the 4th, practice on the 5th, so no downtime. On the 6th, the second match against Uganda. Rest on December 7th. On the 8th, we're going to play in Kenya. Rest on the 9th and 10th, I believe. Play again on the 11th and 12th, Jersey, and we finish out against Italy on the 12th, and the boys or the young men will be back home on the 13th.
Now, finishing 3rd this time around, what does that mean?
It's not good enough. There are 2 groups. We are in our group, so you have to actually finish, and I stand to be corrected, you have to finish in the top 2 of your group. Once you finish in the top 2 of your group, you do not qualify for the World Cup this time.
You move to another stage.
You actually compete against those who are at the sub-level of already qualifying for the World Cup. The bottom 4 teams, I stand to be corrected, will drop down and play against the top 2 groups that come up from the associate member level. So, it's great to get to the next level, but then you have another wall to climb in.
Right.
But that's okay, because that's sports. So there's always going to be a team or someone you're going to compete against. So again, qualifying out of the group this time would be fantastic, but it doesn't guarantee a direct access into the World Cup.
Right. Now, finishing 3rd doesn't mean that it's over internationally, because these same teams in that don't qualify kind of still play next year, don't they?
Yeah, so again, let me stand to be corrected. No matter where you finish in this cycle, year 1, you will be in this group until 2022. Action, 2020, and you play them again in 2021.
Right.
Okay.
Now, after that cycle finishes, depending where you end, that's when you play against a subgroup that comes down. So it's almost like how our domestic first division, you can win. You can win the league, but then you still have to play against a team that is.
That's second place. Second place. Play a
playoff.
playoff.
And have a playoff. So that's how it will be for us. So even though we will
the top teams coming out.
So the way the ICC has set it up, there's international cricket for Bermuda for over the next 3 years.
Yes, and
regardless.
This is only one. This is one day, and then we also, as I mentioned earlier, before when I was on the air, we have the T20.
Mm-hmm.
We are definitely scheduled to play in a tournament sometime between April and October.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been confirmed yet as to what there will be. There are three options. One, we'll do a complete cycle like we did last time,
Mm-hmm.
Argentina, then we came to Bermuda, and then we moved on to Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
Second option would be, since we had qualified for Dubai, then we actually only play like the tournament we had in Bermuda, and then the top two would go to Dubai or
Mm-hmm.
another location. The last thing would be, because we actually qualified for Dubai, maybe we go directly back to Dubai and someone else out of the American
Has
region
to
joins us.
qualify, right?
But again, the ICC has not confirmed it
Right.
yet. So again, the opportunities for the young players who are not even part of this sport, or anyone that's out there that loves the game of cricket and says, man, I know I could be part of that training pool of 30. There's so much cricket. There's so much opportunities. We know that the sport will not be the same for every tournament. May not even be the same coaching staff, because one thing you have to be reminded of, they're all full-time professionals.
Mm-hmm.
They all have full-time jobs elsewhere, and we are very thankful to every employer in Bermuda for granting them the opportunity, and their families for allowing them to travel and to train. And then also for the cricket board to be able to subsidize some of their salaries, because it's very important when you're representing your country that you don't worry about your mortgage or anything else. So we're very happy to everyone who's supportive of the players and the team, but there's opportunities out there.
Mm-hmm. Has the Americas decided what tournament they will have, what tournaments they will have next year themselves?
Yes, definitely be the T20 regional tournament. We don't know when it's going to be held and who's going to be participating in. The Americas is holding talks about probably having our own America's World Cup.
Okay.
So there are other regions that have like the Asian Cup,
Yes,
the African
yeah.
Cup. So
Mm-hmm.
now the Americas region, we had a annual symposium here, and it was held in Bermuda in September.
Mm-hmm.
And the discussion was, we actually have to grow the game within our region and make it more competitive. So can we have our own regional cup, which
Mm-hmm.
means something? Can we also follow the FIFA model? Some suggestions were made, and myself with my football background was one of them. I noted that, in CONCACAF and in FIFA, there are tournaments from U15, U17, and then FIFA takes it from U17, U19, U23. So in cricket, you're either playing U19 or you're directly into senior cricket.
Right.
There's a gap.
Right.
And before U19, in our region, there is no competitive national cricket. We can go to the Gary Service tournament, we can go to St. Kitts, but nothing organized by the Americas. So what can the Americas do to give our young men and women an early experience in international cricket? We have to create that platform where, technically, being honest, we are losing them to football, because football's doing things at under 15 and under 17, under 19, and kids are traveling at 10 years old to Germany, and we can't wait until you're 17 to say, hey, come and join cricket. If I have an option to go to Germany at 10 years old or to play in a cricket league in the summer, I think my parents are going to say cultural exchange. No matter what you learn in the field, go to a different country, see the world. And my friends are doing it, and every other club is doing it as well. So cricket has to, at least, that is the view that we're trying to take. Maybe we can get 1 or 2 teams in the next 2 years to actually start traveling. That makes it more attractive for people to join the sport earlier, but to stay in the sport. But nothing's been finalized.
When you took the post, did you realize or have understanding that so much cricket, international cricket, would be offered for Bermuda over the next 2 to 3 years?
The answer is.
I'm going to be 1,000% honest. I went into the cricket board, and the first 2 weeks, I'm like, this is heaven. I'm like, nothing really happens there. And all of a sudden, it's like, President just said, hey, we're having a tournament, and, the team needs to do this. And I'm like, okay, that's 1 week, that's fine. That's Bahamas, that's the T20. Now we're going to, this is Dubai. And because it was back-to-back, by the time we qualified, it was like, okay, next week you have to start booking the tickets. And the players were like, what? And now we're off. But it's great. There's no downtime. The domestic season, international calendar. We have challenges that I may have mentioned it before, that during Cup match of 2020, there is an international tournament. The president has already written to the ICC explaining the cultural legacy of Cup match and significance not only for Bermuda but globally, because everywhere we go, like, we shut down for 2 days. The ICC, just like FIFA, will decide what the calendar is, but on behalf of Bermuda, we have made
our proposal or requested if they could move those dates, but we are not in charge of that. But we have put it out there officially.
So if they don't move those dates, what is the dates that they're
Silver Cup
they
match.
put forth?
Silver Cup match.
Oh, Silver Cup match.
Silver Cup match.
That sounds.
So that means that over cup match means the players will actually have to leave before cup
Yeah,
match.
yeah.
One good thing, we're in season. So that's be great for the players and the coaching staff because we're really playing cricket and everybody's trying to prove themselves. But second, we all know if the best players, according to those who feel that they are the best, the selection committees of both clubs are not available, it does devalue, the level of player cup matching interest. And that's not something we want to do as a Bermuda cricket board, but it's not in our control.
Yeah.
Even though we have made a request. They have come
Right.
back and said we'll look at it, but at the end of the day, we all know this will be their decision. This is not just Bermuda.
No,
It's
facts.
five other countries that are going to participate.
When will that decision be made? Is it in the new year, or did they give you a timeline?
We will wait.
The week before, when they say no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be very
After these are selected.
I'm gonna be very diplomatic.
On
As
Saturday night.
soon as we find out, we will definitely let everyone know. If it's a no, then we'll definitely go back a second time. I can say that. If it's a hard no after the second time, then we will definitely let everyone know because it's important for the country, it's important for the clubs, it's important for the players. It's a very significant showcase piece in our culture. Take away cup match. Come on, that starts the discussion about everything in the world. Who are we as a people?
Yeah.
So once we do that, but also at the end of the day, we have to recognize that there's nothing more significant than representing the people that are like you and that look like you and believe in you, and that's your country. And so hopefully the players and the coaches will make that decision. I can't make that decision for them, but representing your country is significant. And anywhere else in the world, people say country before club or anything else. So
Good point.
hopefully we can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a commercial break, and when we come back, we will talk more with the representative of the cricket board, Mr. Calvin Blunkendale.
and co-host Earl Baston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Cal, just give us a rundown of the name of the sport that's traveling for this upcoming event.
Yes, I'll give you an update on the names in the squad. I just also want to mention that our vice captain, Mr. Rodney Trott, had to pull out at the last minute and some last minute personal changes. So he was unable to travel, and hopefully he can join us again in the future.
Okay.
Our vice captain, as far as I know, has not been named as of yet, but we do have one of our T20 captains, Mr. Dion Stovall, in the squad, or Coach Bascom may decide to do and look for another individual to give an opportunity. But the squad as of today that departed: Derek Brangman, Seco Burgess, Captain Taryn Frey, Kyle Hutzel, our marquee player, Mr. Delray Rollins, Justin Pitcher, Lorenzo Tucker is the analyst, Carlos Grieve equipment manager, Aaron Marine manager, Sinclair Smith player, Trey Mendes player, Coolidge Durham joined the team late. We also have Akira Bascom, Kamal Lavrock, one of our other marquee players overseas, Anais Bascom, Deontay Darrow, Dion Stovall, one of our captains, Coach Herbie Bascom, and assistant coach Gennaro Tucker, and we also have Mr. Pierre Smith. Pierre Smith is still on the island. We're trying to finalize his travel itinerary with a visa-driven man. Once that comes back, he will be joining the team as soon as possible.
Okay. It's possible that Gennaro may step in again?
We're not really looking for him to step in. Of course, someone of his stature is always a bonus, but at the same time, he knows and he recognizes that there's time to pass on the mental. But I'm pretty sure if for any particular reason we needed him and we're able to make those changes on the ICC player squad, he's definitely one that represents Bermuda in his blood, and that comes from the outstanding Tucker family.
Exactly.
His dad is that's born and bred Bermuda all the way.
Yeah.
Also want to mention that the Bermuda Cricket Board AGM was due to be held on December 5th. Due to another club having one of their annual general meetings. The meeting has now tentatively been moved to December the 12th. Hopefully that can take place at that time, and we can close out the year's affairs, and we can move into 2020 full speed ahead with some good results and an improvement in cricket and interest, and keep growing the game.
2019 has been a very busy year for you, and as you mentioned, it was kind of looking good the first 2 weeks, and things just raised its level regarding international competition for Bermuda. All in all, though, this is good for the local chapter of cricket in Bermuda, because we were crying for a number of years that there's nothing there for our senior players aside from qualifying for the World Cup in cricket. Now you've got a slew of events in various events regarding categories of T20 and ODIs. As you mentioned before, you have to be rocket science. This is something where the cricket fraternity can grow from age 10 to the senior level. To say this is something we can look forward to.
Yes, and I want to say hats off to Miss Kelly Smith. We've always mentioned these senior members or senior coaches, but Miss Kelly Smith has been instrumental in keeping the PV program or the Youth Development Cricket Program going at the board for some time. And we often don't see the outcome of those players until the 25-30. We forget actually who was instrumental in keeping them in the game. So the parents and everyone under Miss Smith's management does a great job. I also repeat myself again. Miss Samantha Robinson, I call her my boss. She's been at the board for about 12 to 13 years. She does a great job. And now we have a new marketing manager, so you see more about cricket on Instagram and social media, more releases. Miss Regina Simons, they've done an excellent job. She's been there 6 months, came in right in the middle of everything, and she knows what she's doing, and she's moving ahead. So we're looking to actually push on. One thing for the general public, there will be no more silent time in cricket. So we know that normally after cup match, cricket was finished. Football will take over. There will be no more releases, no more matches. Cricket is here 12 months of the year.
Really?
So now we're in Christmas talking about cricket, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then in January, we're going to talk about cricket again, because we are going to be having a host of meetings to start the 2020 season domestic. We're going to look to host a lot of meetings with clubs, coaches, players, managers, to make sure that we kick off our season earlier and with buy-in and support from all, because without a strong domestic competition, we will not have a strong international team until we're able, like the BFA, to get more youngsters to stay over there for a longer period of time. and make themselves available for the national team. But again, no excuses, no complaints. We are playing the sport at the highest level. That's what Bermuda wants. The boys are going to do their best. And all I can ask for, and this is a personal ask and an ask from the Bermuda Cricket Board, anyone that wishes to support our senior men's national team for sponsorship, definitely reach out to Cal Blankenau or anyone in the Bermuda Cricket Board. That is something that we are seriously lacking in. We know that there's two ways we actually have to cross the doorstep and present ourselves and our plans to those corporate companies, and we'll be ready to do that in full as of early January. And once we do, we definitely would like to see, a signature name on our playing jerseys, not only for exposure, but also to show our young men and to be able to develop our young men. The only challenge that we have right now on the cricket board, and not the only challenge, is finding enough financing that we can do off-island training. So the most difficult thing for this team is that once the season ends, football kicks in, the fields get used, the pitches get developed anymore. National Sports Center has been fantastic to us, but the Rugby Classic is an annual event, so again, it's sharing, and then it's making sure the turf is ready again. So it's very challenging for our senior men's national team to train. You can use an indoor facility, but it doesn't get the same as an outdoor facility. So that's the challenge. If we are able to find some additional finance to make many development trips, whether it's to the U.S. or to the islands, and that they can actually compete and train prior to and even out of season, that will actually allow us to be much more competitive. But we can only do that with the support of course, the board has to present itself in the right manner, and then the support of the government, which has been great to us as well, and then hopefully the corporate sector, because I believe we are one of the few nations playing in any of these tournaments without a sponsor name on the front. And that's also a choice because, the value of sponsorship may have been axed, but now that we're playing internationally, the sponsor name has to be more significant. So, we may not have a name because the value of the sponsorship has increased. So we'll be patient as long as we can, but we're looking to have a corporate entity on that, and hopefully we can do that in 2020.
All right. My final question: you said around the table of the two national sports. Why do the two national sports get the blame for the way, I guess, society acts or behaves?
You want the real answer?
Yeah. Okay. I asked a real question.
Any reason why the two national sports of I don't know if it's two, I think it's three, but the two national sports of football and cricket receive the blame or public scrutiny is because they are the people's games. No matter what other sport you do in Bermuda, yes, you can be front page, center page, back page, but 99% of the people, it's cricket and it's football. And so when you are at the center of attention, whatever you do right will get highlighted, and whatever you do wrong will get highlighted. The only concern I have is that young men and women, before they are cricketers, the brothers, the sisters, the sons, the fathers, but somehow it's easy to say that the sport has made them this way because it's general and it doesn't really get personal. But we all know in the sport, without the sport, majority of them wouldn't even have these opportunities. So for the young men that are traveling overseas and no slight to them and their families, I tell them all the time, when would you be going to Dubai? When would you be going to you are going to Kenya and Uganda? The opportunity to play against Italy, you have the opportunity to be educated through cricket. So if we actually point at cricket at us and say, you know what, look at all the things we're doing positive, the other four fingers will be pointing at everybody else that's not doing anything for these young people. When you point at someone, they will say four fingers are pointing back at you, right?
Yeah.
So for me, if I'm pointing at cricket, it's the game the other way. Where are you? Where are you? Because without cricket for some of these young men, no matter what they do in life, this is significant for them, self-esteem. Some have found employment, some have moved off the streets, some have actually elevated themselves, some are thinking about becoming coaches.
So at first, the education.
Yeah, right? Education. It's all about cricket. And some have been educated through cricket.
Yeah.
So again, when you're thinking about football and cricket, okay, we are playing our role, clubs and everyone else. Right? So it could be as simple as coming to the game and paying your $25 or your $50. That means you're a part. But just to ask these questions and say, hey, you're only playing football or cricket twice a week, 2 or 3 hours a day. Where are you for the rest of the day? All right. So who's responsible for that? But we'll take the blame. We'll take the blame.
Can't do that.
Can't take the blame.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today, mate. And you're more than welcome to come back next week.
Yes, and I end it like this. Even though this is a cricket show, I have to shake Mr. Rollins' hand and say, seems like Liverpool will probably have a great chance of winning the league.
Thank you, sir. I'll
And,
take it one day at a time, though.
Liverpool was climbing Billy Goat Hill right
And
now.
let's make a little wager because I want to give thanks to you and Mr. Bears and Mr. Bassett. You allow me to come on the air for a multitude of sports.
Sure.
And now it's cricket. That's in my blood.
Yep.
But if Liverpool, what's the wager? They come in a Liverpool jersey the last at that time.
I'm easy, man. I'm
Easy.
easy, bro.
No, you don't want that? He doesn't sound confident now.
No, I'm thinking. No, I'm thinking. I'll come back and tell you next week. Trust me.
So what do you think about Mourinho? That's a good. Well,
I be honest.
you're nervous now?
No, not at all. It's good for the game, but I'm taking a step further, and this is how I think Earl thinks sometimes, right? Say he wins something at Tottenham. He does his usual 3-year stint. I think he'll retire after that. What else he got to prove? Who else going to win it?
He become the mayor.
I didn't think of that one. Right? Yeah. Or if he doesn't win anything in his 3 years, it's a flop.
I'm pretty sure that the boardroom has promised him the checkbook, but they didn't give the other coach.
Oh, that's
that was
obvious.
the only reason
obvious.
he would sign on the line.
That's what I didn't like. That's what I didn't like.
I have 2 minutes?
Yeah.
All right. That's because Earl Basin asked me a question about football and cricket taking the blame. I'm going to reverse that. If we're against Mexico, have we? I would like to see the numbers of people watching overseas and never having heard of Bermuda. Because when we always talk about what these young men are doing, and let's say, be honest, black young boys are doing, I'm pretty sure about 1 million plus people have heard about Bermuda now since they played Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And we could never pay that marketing dollar. And I have to be honest, I was trying to find a match, and I went online. You know where I watched the match? On SKB something, Croatian TV. So in Croatia, they were streaming Bermuda, Mexico against Bermuda.
Yeah.
So you think they really know where Bermuda is in Croatia? But they followed it because of Mexico. So now it's like, when we think about, vacation, another place I want to go to. No, Bermuda's playing against Italy. We're playing against Uganda. We're playing against Kenya. Some of these matches probably won't be televised. It may be streamed, but there's going to be exposure in that. This is something that no one else is paying for.
Mm-hmm.
So when people sometimes ask why are we giving these players or the board money or the BFA money, we're actually doing the marketing work of Bermuda.
Yeah, right. Bermudians marketed themselves.
Yeah. So this is 15 games, 3 years. We had 2 games in the T20s. Scotland and Netherlands. People from Pakistan, India asking me for jerseys, and it's amazing. So when people always say, "Well, why are we paying?" We pay all these other entities to do marketing and exposure, but we forget that besides the game being played, it's entertainment, and people want to be entertained and they watch it, and they're learning about the game. Right?
Yeah.
And so hats off to those young men that are actually putting us on the map in far regions where no one even knows where this little dot of an island is.
We would have dreamed that we'd be going to Oman and Dubai.
Right. And play in Mexico
in Mexico. Yeah.
And last but not least, for everyone who supported the board for so many years, and the current sponsors and the legends such as Mr. John Tucken, others Clevie Wade, who have done things in the past and are still around to give them knowledge. We say thank you. Stay with the players, stay with the boys. While it's just a little whisper in the ear of coming to the training session, it's very important that as a country we stay united. So no matter win or lose, at the end of the day, we're in the unions, and the only people that's going to get us out of anything or make it successful is us. And I want to say this, then I'm done. Clay Smith, thank you, sir. He was unable to travel, but he made himself available to assist the coaching team while on island, and also assist with betting. And it's very important that we recognize individuals such as him who has been, to the elite level and is still making himself available. It's not traveling at this time, but hopefully you can travel in the future. But to Clay, keep up the good work, mate. No one sees what you're doing sometimes, but the players and the coaches know, and your experience is definitely valuable.
So players, my mates, I can say this. I see what he's doing. He's 20 points behind.
And it makes talk like that. But gentlemen, thank you. Have a great day. I'll look forward to coming back hopefully sometime either during the tournament or at the end of the tournament. And hopefully the results will be more favorable. But we have cricket on the agenda for the next 3 years, so this will definitely not be the last one.
For sure. All right.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Cool. That's all the time we have for Inside Sports Talk Radio this afternoon, excuse me. Enjoy the rest of your day.